Assalamu alaikum, ladies. Peace be upon you. I'm so happy you're here. This is your space to unleash your inner nur and step fully into your light. Bismillah. Today's topic is about dua, the power of dua, and how it is actually a form of worship to be audacious with your dua, to make dua with audacity, to not put your own human limits on Allah's power, but also to understand that Allah is going to give you what you want. He may not give it to you packaged up in the exact way that you are hoping for, but Allah has a plan for you. And when you make dua, Allah rushes to answer your prayer. This topic is very close to my heart because I have witnessed and experienced my own many miracles from making dua. My mother has experienced countless miracles from making dua, and I just have to share. I'm currently reading this book called The Power of Dua by Aliyah Umm Raiyaan. And she's also the author of the book Ramadan Reflections, which I know is a very popular one. But this book is so amazing that literally, as I've been reading it, I've wanted to cry so many times. I haven't even finished the book yet, but it literally makes me want to cry. And I'm currently listening to the audiobook. So I listen while I'm driving, I listen sometimes in the background at work, and I just have it playing. Such an incredible and inspiring book, and it's just a great reminder of the limitless and unconditional mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how Allah really wants us to run to Him. Allah wants us to come to Him. Allah wants us to make dua. I always knew dua is a form of worship, but I never specifically thought about how essential dua is to our worship. I believe dua is super important, but in my mind, dua is kind of optional. Like in my mind, it's like we can make dua if there's something that we desire or really want, or we need help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get us out of any sort of situation. But I never thought about how essential dua actually is to our worship practices and our iman, literally closing the gap of space between us and Allah by having a one-on-one relationship with Allah and fully and wholly trusting that Allah is here for you, that Allah is listening to you. Like you can stop right now and have a conversation with Allah, whether that's through your salah or you just start talking and you're just like, Allah, listen, I'm struggling with this right now and I really need your help. You can stop at any time, at any point of day to have a conversation with Allah, to build that relationship with Allah. It doesn't have to be at specific times. It doesn't have to be in specific intervals. You know, there are certain times where our dua is more likely to be answered. There are certain times where the reward for making dua is amplified, but you can call on Allah at any time of day, at any time of night, and you can ask for what you want. There are really no conditions. It's a mercy that Allah allows for us. For example, during the last 10 nights, we have Laylatul Qadr, which is the night of power, which is a night during the month of Ramadan where your blessings are multiplied and your du'as are guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed to be answered. But those aren't the only times you make dua. And then I also love that this book talks about taking the robotic nature of dua away and calling on Allah with all of your vulnerability and all of your authenticity and bearing your soul to Him by making dua. Because we sometimes come to Allah's door with a veil on. Like we don't come to Him fully transparent and authentic. We come to Him with a veil on. We come to Him trying to put a version of ourselves forward in hopes that Allah will accept that version of ourselves instead of just being like, Allah, help me. I'm struggling with this. I feel like I'm going to fall into sin. I feel like I'm going to lose my job. I feel like I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Like we're afraid to admit that even to our Creator who made us and who knows what's in our minds, who knows what's in our hearts. We have to be willing to bear ourselves completely so that Allah can come running to us. It's really on my heart to talk about this because I'm in the midst of listening to this book, but also because it's such a powerful an underrated way of transforming and changing your life as a Muslim, as a person, as a human being on this earth that we often take for granted. We forget that Allah is literally just waiting for us to call out to Him. So I want to remind you of that today. So firstly, and I touched on this a little bit already, but we have to stop pretending. We have to stop coming forward to Allah pretending to be someone that we're not. We have to be prepared to be vulnerable and to bare our souls and literally let Allah know what we're struggling with. I feel like sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. Let's say you really struggle with staying away from something that is not necessarily halal. Let's say that's your struggle. That's the test that Allah gave you. It's almost like you're afraid to admit that to your creator who already knows, but you're afraid to come forward and just be like, I'm really struggling with this. Please help me. We have to be willing to just allow ourselves to be completely vulnerable. And I know that oftentimes that fear of being vulnerable is because we're afraid of being vulnerable with ourselves. We're afraid of admitting to ourselves our shortcomings. We're afraid of admitting to ourselves what we actually desire, what we actually want. Sometimes it's because we're afraid that we're not going to get that. Sometimes it's because we've put certain limits or we have limiting beliefs, limiting convictions that this is not the life for me. And then sometimes we're afraid to admit what we're struggling with. Like we may be afraid to admit what we want, but we're also afraid to admit what we're struggling with. We think something's wrong with us for having human desires, human emotions. Let me remind you of something, first of all, that Allah created humans to sin. Don't try to argue with me in the comments because yes, we were created to worship Allah, but we were created as imperfect beings on purpose, okay? Or else no one would ever struggle with temptation. No one would ever struggle with desire or peer pressure if that's you. So we need to stop shaming ourselves and shaming other people for having regular human desires. As long as you are determined to stay on the straight path, and as long as you are determined to overcome those desires and you feel a sense of shame about those desires, that's a good thing because that shows that you are human and you know that what you're doing is wrong and you are on the path to repenting, to making tawbah and making things right. So in the hurdle series, Sheikh Mikhail gives a tip because a lot of Muslims will say, well, I can't pray to Allah because I sin, or I can't pray to Allah because I'm not praying my prayers, or like whatever the case may be. Sheikh Mikhail's advice in the hurdle series from Qalam is to make tawbah. And he gives the example of like, you know, he might just come home from the gym and then want to cuddle with his wife or something. His wife is not going to want to cuddle him sweaty and dirty and just came home from the gym. No, he has to go and wash the dirt and sweat off of him, and then he can be able to cuddle with his wife. Making tawbah pretty much does the same thing. It washes you of the sins that you have. And Allah says that you could make tawbah 100 times in a day and Allah would accept it every single time. That is how merciful Allah is. Allah wants you to ask for forgiveness. This is why we say astaghfirullah 3 times after every prayer. This is why we're encouraged to say astaghfirullah throughout the day, which means I seek forgiveness from Allah. Do you think we do that just because? Just for fun? No, we're doing that for a reason. We're human. Allah knows exactly how He created us, and we are created as imperfect beings. So stop striving for perfection because perfection is not real. And the longer you chase after perfection, you are going to be running for the rest of your life. Okay? Make sure that you are saying astaghfirullah. Make sure that you are making tawbah. Make sure that you're asking Allah for forgiveness. And maybe that will help with you feeling like I'm not worthy. Because the truth of the matter is you are worthy. It doesn't matter what your human desires are. It doesn't matter what you struggle with. Allah loves you all the same. And that might be a hard pill to swallow for some people. But Allah loves us all the same. Whether we're sinning, whether we are His most beautiful servant, there are no ranks in the eyes of Allah. Because even if you are the person who commits haram or commits sin, He's always waiting for you to come back. When you do come back to Him, He has His arms wide open to welcome you. It doesn't matter what you did, as long as you ain't commit shirk. He is ready for you to come back to Him. There is no sin that Allah does not forgive except shirk. So stop feeling like you are not worthy of Allah answering your du'as. Stop feeling like you're not worthy of His attention, His love and mercy for you, because that is not true at all. That is a trick of shaitan. And unfortunately, that is what shaitan wants you to believe, because he wants you to give up hope that Allah is waiting for you, that Allah is there for you. So one thing I love about this book so far is that it does encourage us to remember the small things in our du'as. Okay, I make du'a for a parking space. Do not forget the small things, because you should call on Allah for those things too, but be limitless in your du'a. I find that so many times we are afraid to allow ourselves to dream. We call ourselves being a realist, and I really don't like that concept of a realist, because what a realist actually is a limited person. Being a realist is being limited. You know how people are saying, there's a healthy level of delulu. I believe in that wholeheartedly, and I will always side with Team Delulu. Be delusional with your du'as, because what is delusional for you is not delusional for Allah. You're calling upon the creator of the heavens and the earth. You are calling upon the being that created the most incredible miracles for all of the prophets, for all of his creation. So why are you limiting yourself in what you can ask for? I think we think this is not going to happen because we in our minds can't think of how this is going to happen or how we can make it happen. But Allah can open up doors for you that you could never have even imagined. He can move things around to make things work out for you in ways that will literally blow your mind. Stop placing your own human limitations on Allah's divine power that goes so far beyond what we could ever do. And this is why I'm such a huge advocate for letting Allah handle it. Even if it seems impossible, just ask. If it's on your heart and it's something that you truly desire, don't put your own human limitations on what Allah can make happen for you. We're very limitless, but our creator is not. That's no small thing, okay? So make sure that when you're making dua, that you're remembering the limitlessness of Allah. Allah says, I am who my creator thinks of me. So if we believe that Allah is limited, if we believe that Allah has abandoned us, if we believe that he's not going to answer and not going to listen to our duas, chances are your duas are not going to be answered, because part of dua etiquette and part of making dua is that you have conviction. You have to know that this dua is answered. The moment you say Ameen, it has to be done. Some scholars even say, don't say please Allah if it's in your will, because Allah is limitless. Don't even try to be like, please Allah, if it's in your will, do this for me. No, trust that you put the intention out there and Allah is going to move things around to make it happen for you. And it may not be in the exact way that you could imagine, but it's always going to blow your mind. You have to make sure too that you detach from the outcome. And by detaching from the outcome, that means stop trying to assume or predict how it's going to happen. Let Allah surprise you, because that is the most beautiful way to have your du'as answered. Stop trying to assume, stop trying to predict, stop trying to act like you know what's going to happen. Stop trying to move things around to make it happen. Yes, tie your camel, do what you can, but don't be disappointed if you try to force an outcome in one way and Allah is trying to give you what you prayed for in another way. So, for example, let's say you want to make a certain income and you prayed for a certain income. But in your limited mind, your only way of making that income is to apply to a bunch of different jobs, office jobs, because all you can think of for making that income is a salaried position. Don't close yourself off to the possibilities that Allah will bring forth to you. Sure, do what you know and send out your resume, do whatever you need to, but also be open to the possibilities, because maybe the income will come from a salaried position, or maybe Allah will have you somehow win a large sum of money or somehow come into a large sum of money in a different way. It could be that Allah moves things around to have some sort of contract job come out of nowhere where you make that exact amount in a 3-month period and you don't have to work for some company for however long to make that income. We put our own limitations on Allah so often, but you have to be open to the possibilities. And if you're closed off, it's not likely to happen for you. So make sure that you are open and that you are allowing Allah to fully take care of it. You can tie your camel, but also allow Allah to fully take care of it. Making dua with audacity reflects tawakkul, and tawakkul is full faith and trust in Allah's timing. It also shows that you have yaqeen, which means certainty. You have to make dua with yaqeen. You can't make dua any other way or it is not dua. And that is the most mind-blowing thing that I've read in this book so far, is that if you do not make dua with certainty, that is not actual dua. You're just talking at that point. You have to be sure. You have to know. Part of your worship is knowing that Allah will give you what you ask for, that you desire. It's a huge deal that the only thing that changes the will of Allah, the qadr of Allah, is dua. That shows you right there that it's such a powerful concept, mashallah. Remember that making dua with audacity, it's not arrogant. It's not arrogant, it's showing that you have tawakkul, that you have very strong faith. And that may take time to develop, but over time, you will make dua and just know that Allah is going to make it happen for you in some way. You can make dua and you completely detach. You completely detach from having to control or manipulate outcomes because you have full trust and faith in Allah that He's going to make it happen. Being bold with your duas is tawakkul. It is an act of worship in and of itself. And whatever you believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be reflected back to you. What's crazy is also that Allah has saved 99 parts of His mercy and only one part of His mercy is on this earth. So that means the greatest blessings you have ever encountered in your life, the most merciful people that Allah has placed on your path to help you get to where you need to go, or situations to help you get to what you need to get to, that those were only one part of Allah's infinite mercy. It's incredible to think about because He's saving the other part for the day of judgment. But it's insane. So why do we put these limits on Allah? Allah wants us to know the main reason why He puts Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim in the Quran so often, even though He has other names, is because He wants to constantly remind us of how merciful He is. Allah's mercy is so infinite that He gives us a million chances before He chooses punishment. He also gives us a million cheat codes to erase our bad deeds. It's incredible. Allah has written on His throne, "Indeed, my mercy prevails over my anger." Of all the phrases He could have written on His throne, this is the phrase that He chose. Stop beating yourself up for things. Say astaghfirullah and move on, because Allah is ready to forgive you right here and now. Don't let shaitan ever trick you that you're unworthy of forgiveness. So this was a shorter one, but I will leave you with this. Remember that dua is a form of worship. It's not just a wish list. It's not something like, oh, I can make dua, but it's also optional. No, this is a form of worship that is super, super important. I highly recommend reading The Power of Dua because it's such a beautiful reminder of that. And like I said, there has already been multiple times in this book where I've wanted to just cry because of Allah's mercy. I'm really excited to finish the rest of it. I'm on chapter 8 right now. Yeah, even if the answer to your dua is delayed or Allah doesn't give it to you packaged in the exact way that you were expecting, it will always blow your mind and it will always be better than. If it's not exactly what you asked for, it will always be better than that. I'm telling you, making audacious duas will transform your relationship with Allah. It will make you feel so close to Him. It will make you feel like you could reach out and touch Him if you wanted to. Like, it will make you feel like we're here. Like He's really listening to you. He's really right there with you. And that is the truth. For every single one of us, He is right there. He's not right there more with the sheikh and not as there more for you. No, He's right there for all of us, subhanAllah. Keep your mind and your heart connected to Allah by maintaining that faith, by being bold in what you ask for, by having candid, vulnerable conversations with Allah and letting Him know what you're struggling with. Let Him know how hard this is for you, how you are trying your best. Bare your heart and soul out to Allah and watch Him transform your life before your eyes. Make dua with yaqeen, with hope, with certainty. And one thing that I thought was so beautiful in this book was that Allah is shy to turn down our desires. Not only does Allah want us to turn to Him and want us to ask for what we want in this life, but He is shy not to give us our greatest desires, not to answer our du'as. That's wild to me. Like, Allah is shy not to give us what we want. So how dare we put our own limitations, and how dare we prevent ourselves from having such a beautiful relationship with Allah where He will literally help build our dream life from scratch just by talking to Him. It's honestly incredible. But yes, I just wanted to leave you with that because this book has been incredible so far, and I just wanted to share a few of my reflections. Insha'Allah, I will see you in the next video. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so comment if you've read the book, or if you're reading the book, or if you're excited to, and if you have any books that you would just like to recommend to me. I love to read, I love to listen to audiobooks, so please comment them down below. And inshallah, I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.